the wreckage has to come out of the water. It has to be basically collected and then preserved. And my guess is it will be built and reconstructed on a skeleton in an airport hangar somewhere so that the investigators and the metallurgists can look at the way the metal is bent, the point of impact, because then when they have the actual flight data recorder, which they've recovered, and they have the audio transcripts of the cockpit voice recorder, which they've recovered, and they have the audio transcripts of the tower to planes audio, which they have, they can then construct a second-by-second timeline of what happened, when it happened, and ultimately why it happened, which gets me to the next level. What the actual mandate of the NTSB is to determine 2 words, probable cause. But the NTSB doesn't stop there, nor should they. The NTSB goes one step further. Once they establish what they feel is the probable cause, they look for solutions. What would have been the solution in this case to prevent it from ever happening again? And now it goes to the regulatory agency as an urgent safety recommendation. That would be the FAA. And here's where it gets a little depressing. Since the FAA was mandated by an act of Congress in 1935, they were always given a dual mandate, which was by definition impossible to perform. The first mandate, which we all accept, embrace, and support, is to enforce and enact safety regulations. That's a no-brainer. But the second mandate is a conflict of interest. It is to, quote, promote the business of aviation. You cannot do both. During its entire history, from 1935, so 90 years later now, the FAA has not figured out that their clients are not the airlines or the manufacturers. Their clients are United States citizens. Their partners are not the airlines or the manufacturers. And as a result of not understanding that, every time the NTSB makes an urgent safety recommendation, the FAA doesn't necessarily move swiftly. In many cases, they slow walk it. In some cases, they downright ignore it. And the reasoning for that, because the FAA worries about the economic impact on implementing those solutions to the airlines or the manufacturers. Now, I want to preface this by saying I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV, but I wouldn't need to be a lawyer to be effectively prosecuting the case I'm about to tell you. If I know there's a problem, and then I know there's a solution, and I know the solution is available and can be implemented, and I then make the conscious decision not to implement that solution, that's a prima facie case of criminal negligence. We saw that with the case of the Boeing Max, right? We even saw it back in the days of the Ford Pinto gas tank, right? So what is the FAA going to be doing now?